Day 11. Notice anything different? Yeah. No, so I thought I'd kind of toy around with a few things and try out the cool background here. And, as I told you, this would be kind of an ever evolving process of improvement. So hopefully this is an improvement. I think it looks pretty cool. We'll see. I might mess around with a few other things and see how this thing ends up. Eventually, I might even be doing this live, or who knows. But for right now, I got a cloud background and it rocks. All right, so with that, we're going to go ahead and jump right into day number and lesson 11 here, and that is the impersonal law of personal good. The impersonal law of personal good. And the quote here is, "All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth." And that is from Matthew 28 and 18. So there's a lot here in the text for this lesson. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it all. I usually try to summarize it as best possible and pull out the things that resonate with me the most, I guess I would say. But it's important to read this entire text so you can get a context of what it's actually saying. So it is interesting to note that while Jesus said that all power was given to him in heaven and earth, at another time he said that he of himself could do nothing. This sounds like a contradiction until we understand the subtlety of the meaning. Jesus realized that there is but one power and one presence, and he knew that we all live in this presence and by this power. He also knew that when he surrendered himself to the presence, that is, when he thought the thoughts of God after him, then the power would automatically respond to him. Therefore, in surrendering himself to the presence of good, he commanded the law of good. This is fundamental to our whole concept of what we believe and the way we use it. For we use the law of good, which of itself is entirely impersonal and independent of us. Like all other laws of nature, like all of the laws of nature, and responding to the presence of love, we use the law of good. This is what meditation, affirmation, and prayer mean. And I'm going to read a few sentences from the affirmation as well. It says, "I am now depending on the power that is greater than I am, and upon the law of good that is available right here and right now. I identify my life with the presence and the power and the love of God." And skipping down, "If there is anything in me that denies this presence or this power, I loose it and let it go." And I wanted to wrap that one up with this. "I know everything I do will prosper. I know that the one life, which is God, is my life now." And this is one of the lessons that can sometimes, or depending on where you are, can be a little confusing, because I know this is a conversation I've had, particularly about reading the Tao Te Ching, which I think is another great work. And I think, what was the phrase, is that when nothing is done, everything is done. And that could be interpreted a lot of ways. And I'll tell you what my interpretation is, and also what I get from this is that we don't have to force things. We don't have to use the typical mechanisms that we see being used in the world. Hard work, hard labor. Things don't have to be burdensome. We can allow ourselves to let go of those ideas of of having to burden ourselves in order to gain anything. We've all heard the phrase "no pain, no gain," and that may be one way of achieving things. It is by no means the only. And I say that because what you choose to believe is your path. It's your path. And I am not to say that that path is not the right path. I'm not here to say that that path doesn't work, because it may work for you. There are people who work hard to get the things that they desire because they believe they do. But there are also others who achieve those things and even more with this uncanny, unexplainable sense of ease. And that's the part of what I get out of this is the ease that comes in things, is that we're not having to do in order to be able to have. It's about the being. It's about being who we are, being in alignment with what it is we want, and the things that are necessary will come together for us. And in this lesson, the potential contradiction says that all power was given to him in heaven and earth, and then also the saying that he of himself could do nothing. We I think fool ourselves, purposefully and intentionally fool and trick ourselves into this illusion that we buy into, that I have to do this thing, that I have to carry this weight, I have to carry this burden, and we don't. We are a part of this greater concept, which in itself can be almost an overwhelming thought, that here we are, an individuation of this one thing, this one entity, this one being, this oneness. We are individuations of it. We're not separate from it. So is it us in essence who are doing the doing? Or is it this one mind that is actually doing the doing? That is for a whole hour-long podcast. Because that concept begins to really push the brain to its limits of understanding of our existence. You know, do we really exist? Do we exist in the way that we think we do? And if either one of those are true, what do we do about it? You know, if we don't exist, or if we don't exist in the way that we think we do, but again, knowing this teaching, knowing that there is the one and we are an extensions of it and not separate from it, what does that mean in the broader scheme of things? And I love this, and I may even be getting too far down the rabbit hole in as far as this lesson is concerned, but I like diving down that rabbit hole, because it forces your mind to expand and think in ways that it may not under normal circumstances, when we hear things that comply to the typical beliefs in the illusion that we have. So let me read this here. And I just want to say, as I've probably alluded to in another lesson, you know, this lesson talks about Jesus and his teachings, and I won't get into that conversation in this series. But what I want to encourage you to do is to hear the lesson and not get attached to any other conversations around the things that you may be thinking about or feeling. So being able to get clear and get present to what the real lesson is here. So I'll read this. It says, Jesus realized that there is but one power and one presence, and he knew that we all live in this presence and by this power. He also knew that when he surrendered himself to the presence, when he thought the thoughts of God after him, then the power would automatically respond to him. And really what I hear in this, get out of your own way. Just get out of your own way. The title is The Impersonal Law of Personal Good. Get out of your own way and understand that these are fundamental laws that don't change based on anything dealing with you. And at the very end with the affirmation, it says, if there's anything in me that denies this presence or this power, I loose it and let it go, because it's just a fiction. It's just a farce. If there is any belief that we are not a part of that same power, that's the application here, is letting it go. So what is your practical application to take from this lesson and apply to your life? Get out of your own way. Get out of your own way, and understand that there are universal principles at work, universal laws in place that don't change based on you, that don't change based on what mood you're in, so to speak. These laws are the same, and you have the ability to use those laws to your advantage if you choose to do so. So if you want to choose to believe in no pain, no gain, if you want to choose to believe in everything requires hard work, everything is burdensome, etc., if you want to choose to believe in that, recognize that the law doesn't change. The law doesn't change. You will get that. You will attract the situations, the environments, the people, the things that will bring about no pain, no gain. Nothing can be achieved without hard work. So take that on. Take that on and consider getting out of your own way. A little bit longer lesson today. I think it dived into just a broader concept of doing without doing. As I mentioned from the Tao Te Ching, is that we have that ability to create without the hard work and labor that we may have bought into or believe that we need to. So, all right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this lesson up. As always, the link to the book is in the description. Like, share, and subscribe. Those are the 3 fun things that will keep this gravy train going. So anyway, guys, have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the background, and maybe it'll be back tomorrow, who knows. And let me know your feedback. If you'd like to see some other cool backgrounds or something, like I said, we'll see what this thing evolves into. All right, take care.